My name is Bonnie Bartolos. I'm from Kansas City, and I was the executive director for the Principal Foundation for a little short of 2 years. In 2011, when I began, within the first week, the tornado hit Joplin, Missouri, which was a significant activity for the foundation while I was there. Because the whole center of the town was wiped out by this tornado, there were no telephones, cell phones, or landlines to be able to reach anybody. So we had to call Springfield, Missouri, which is about 40 miles away, to ask how to reach an individual at the Joplin church. They gave us the name of the chairman of the board, who also worked at the Salvation Army, and we were able to reach him that way. I called him, and that's when I found out that the church had been totally destroyed. And I believe it was the next day that I drove down to Joplin, which is about a 2.5-hour drive. And I found him in his office, and we were able to talk. And I was able to find out the names of those individuals that we needed to contact. So much had happened to these people in Joplin, and their lives had been so radically changed in just a few hours that everybody was trying to find housing elsewhere and help their families and have them move in with them. But he said, our church is so small that I'm just not sure we're going to be able to rebuild. And I said to him, the church is not about numbers, it's about thought. The church was completely wiped off the map. All there was a concrete slab remaining, the parking lot, and one wall was standing, which is where the bound volumes were located. They were all soaking wet, and on the top it said, God is love. I scheduled all the people that he gave me the names of and their phone numbers. We were able to talk to them about what they may need and what to do to help them. The alumni of Principia were coordinated by an individual and donated clothing, toiletries, appliances, all sorts of things for them. We had 2 airplane loads from St. Louis. Following that, Cedars Camps organized some of the people, and they came and spent a day and sorted out men's clothing from women's clothing, from children's clothing, from the kitchen appliances, all the toiletries, so that when we were able to give it to the people in Joplin, it would be organized for them. We had wonderful gifts other than just financial. 2 Sunday schools, one in California and one in Texas. The Sunday school students wrote letters to all the members of the church. And one drew a picture of a church with a stream in front of it and the swans. And the members of the church were in tears over these letters, but one said, this is just what we want our church to look like. Donations poured into the foundation from all over the world. And one of them was from the church in Japan, which had been hit by the tsunami. And they had funds left over from the damaged repair of their church. And they sent money from Japan for the church in Joplin. You just don't know where it's going to come from, but it's there. It's not for us to outline, it's for us to listen. And it's easy for fear to occupy thought that there is not sufficient supply. And one of the things I wanted to mention is that there's a law of complete idea, whether it's organization or whether it's man, but idea is complete. And the church in Joplin is a complete idea. And when the statement was made that we don't have enough members, it's saying that it's not a complete idea, that it is incomplete and lacking. And that is not true in Christian Science. It is a complete idea and it is whole, and there is nothing lacking for it to be expressed. And they demonstrated that in Joplin. Things the foundation does is to turn to the Bible and Mrs. Eddy for guidance in handling things. And I love the story of feeding the multitudes, because this is certainly a demonstration of it. He begins with compassion and love for the people that are there. And then he asks, what do we have? What is there? The church had to look at what they had available. They weren't sure they could put the money together. Just as the disciples said, we're not sure we have enough for the multitudes. And so Jesus gave thanks for what they had and sat down, and they distributed what they had. And then they collected all the fragments, and they had more than they thought that they had. And this is really what happened in Joplin. In fact, there was so much donated in terms of clothing, all these 2 airplane loads. 2 airplane loads of things came down, and this was not a small airplane. And they had a third one they were getting ready to come, and we said, we don't have any place to put it. We had to decline having it come. And even then, we had more left over than we could give. And so it was donated to the Salvation Army. The chairman said to me when it was all over, I can lose everything, but I know that I have God. Always, I have God. He's by my side. And that's true for all of us.